Hello, everybody, welcome. Roses like investigator, hell, huh. Everybody, welcome. Roses like investigator. So today is Thursday, August 14th. I didn't make a video yesterday. I did the research, but it kind of became late. Long story, and I ended up not making videos. So I'm back today. There's a lot to discuss. So let's get straight to it. Okay, so I'd like to ask for protection, a beautiful ray of lights coming on top of my head as I breathe in. I feel my lungs as I breathe out. I create a circle. I create a circle. I step into it. I step into it. I feel protected. I feel connected. I like to ask that information come only from the highest sources, that I create the good and not the good, and so does. Okay, so let's start. There's a lot to discuss today. I'm just gonna go grab a few crystals and get to the news. So I caught this early this news that I'm going to show you. I caught this earlier today, and it is interesting. It's okay. So here, Melania. Let's see. Hunter Biden said he won't apologize to Melania Trump amid lawsuit threat. Hunter Biden won't apologize to First Lady. Seconds, if I can make it bigger. Melania Trump, despite her threat to sue, he said in an interview with an independent journalist, Andrew Callaghan, released Thursday. The First Lady's lawyers demanded the son of President Biden remove and retract commentary about her made in a separate Callaghan interview earlier this month, including his assertion that convicted sex offender Epstein introduced Melania to Trump. F that, Biden said in the Thursday video. It's not going to happen. Driving the news, the First Lady's attorney, Alejandro Brito, said in an August 6th letter that Biden's commentary on an August 5th YouTube interview with Callaghan was false, defamatory, disparaging, and inflammatory, and threatened legal action. Fox News Digital First reported. In the channel 5 with Andrew Callaghan video, Biden's Biden said, okay, this looks a little weird. Okay, sorry. All right, so Biden said, I don't believe in guilt by association alone, but the connections that are so glaringly obvious that I think they're trying to use other things to distract. Brito said Biden's source was Michael Wolff, whose lies were published by the Daily Beast in the article titled Melania Trump Very Involved in the Epstein Scandal Author. Axios was unable to reach Wolff for comment. Okay, so I thought it's like so interesting, right? Because they demonized Hunter Biden, right? And they never, ever apologized for him for anything. I don't think he ever threatened. This is bringing up something else, guys. Okay, let's just see here. So hold on a second. Okay. Okay. This obsidian towers here. So it reminded me of the whole French First Lady lawsuit against Candace Owens, because he was essentially chased down by all these fascist people and a lot of Russians too. So it's interesting that he's saying, no, I'm done with this. Okay, so let me ask. Okay, so what's next? Okay, so they're threatening to sue. Okay, so let's see. I mean, I find it very interesting because this is unlike, I think, a lot of the other lawsuits that Trump he always brings up. Whenever someone says something, he like threatens to sue and he has to pay off. This is not something that they will want to to you know, they I don't think it's something that they want to not talk about Epstein, so to sue Hunter Biden. And also considering the whole situation with like how this administration is going, they could go after Hunter Biden for whatever random thing. They, remember how they indicted him for having a gun, some BS thing. Okay, so all right, so Melania is threatening to sue Hunter Biden for $1 billion. Will she? What will she do? And what's going to happen to Hunter? Because really, Trump is a pretty scary person in a lot of ways, but I think he's guys. This is a risky thing to do, right? But this is the right thing to do, to say no, okay? Because these people are scared. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're lying, and I see. So what I saw here is, and I have. It's funny. This also reminds me that I meant to talk about this, but I didn't earlier. Okay. And I meant to talk about Melania and this whole Epstein thing. So this is the perfect opportunity. And so what I see here is that, remember Paolo Zampoli? He was I don't know if he's still alive. No, I think he's still alive. He even got a job at the Trump administration. He is some sort of like a ambassador, I think, right? Paolo Zampoli, his name is. So I see that he brought her, and he tells me, okay, for entertainment purposes only, for entertainment purposes only, yacht girl. Okay, so yes, so it's saying that there was, and I talked about this before, guys. There was an aspect of this whole thing where, yes, there was a modeling agency, but there was part of it. It was also like not a modeling. Doesn't make sense that there was some sort of like quasi prostitution thing. And to be fair, I mean, I'll just be fair, like here, okay, to them, that I don't know that they said that's what they had signed up for initially when they thought this whole thing was about modeling. But maybe, you know what I mean? Like, just to be fair, just to throw one here, to be kind. Uh, so so what I see, so yeah, she knew Epstein, yes, and he was, and it shows that Epstein was part of it, of that group, and so was Trump. So let's see here. Okay, including his assertion that convicted sex offender introduced Melania to Trump. So let's ask this question. Let's ask, did Epstein introduce Melania to Trump? Yes. Yes. And I saw that it was from time to time there would be these parties where uh, he would, like, I see that Epstein knew her before Trump did. And there was like, it was not a meet and greet, but it was sort of like, he would get to know the new girls or whatever. Um, let's see, let's see here. So let's see the cards, the Joan cards. Okay, so that's right. That's correct. That she was part of the cast, quote unquote. Tell me, what about the visa? That's right. Well, and guys, I actually, in a weird way, I kind of feel bad for her, but I don't feel bad for her. We haven't gotten to that part, but for her suing Hunter Biden. But I see, it's funny, it shows me this image when back in the day when she was, whenever it was, she was telling a friend, I met this guy, he's really rich, he's going to help me get a visa. And I think, I think so. I think the visa was through this modeling thing, but Trump definitely um, worked. Like, I think she got the visa this because, and okay, I'll tell you the visa that she got. Just to tell you, is my mother is a retired, I believe, professor. She got that Einstein visa, but that was what people like her, it was like you have to prove that you had do very specific research that nobody else does, and then that was correct. My mother's case, right? That's not definitely not the case of Melania. So there was something fraudulent there, right? Obviously, that's the visa that she got because then it's sort of like a way into the green card. Okay, so okay, so tell me Trump. That's right, but I feel like there's something about Trump that he really truly helped her and expedited her visa. That's correct. And that, yes, that is correct. I think it's the Paolo Zampoli and Epstein that got, okay. Oh, and it's saying that Trump gave this guy a job. Like, think about the people that he is friends with, right? The Zampoli person, a job because in the administration as a way to it's a form of like sort of like bribery, and you know what I mean, like you have to keep all the people that have secrets about you close so that nobody can go. This makes sense, like can go to them and be like, oh, what do you know, what can you tell us? Okay, so wow, okay, um interesting. Okay, so that's the story. Let me actually look it up, guys. I think I have photos. I feel like I've seen these photos. Okay. So this is an article from 2016 that tells the details. So Melania Trump modeled in the U.S. prior to getting a work visa. Here it says she first came to the U.S. from Slovenia on August 27, 1996, and then got an H-1B on October 18th, 1996. Now, the thing about here she got her green card. Let's see. Oh, that's right, because I think he would have been illegal, something like that. I don't quite understand it. Okay, so the point is that it says here that she got here it is, received a green card in March 2001 and became a U.S. citizen in 2006. Okay, so that's her story. So for this part, yes, I think Zampoli and Epstein introduced her to Trump. And I see also that there was like a thing, I remember around those days, I think I'm younger than her, but I was really into fashion for a long time. So I remember like her look was never really very high fashion. I don't mean it as an offense or anything. It's just like, the people that came to work in fashion as fashion models, there was like a different look, right? It was, I don't know, it just was different. She didn't look too much like a high fashion model. Okay, I don't think it's controversial to say that, really. Okay, so I get that there's more to the story of the. I think there's some, I have to, unfortunately, to use the word even trafficking, where like they brought girls under the guise. I think she may have modeled, in fact, but they knew already that those types of girls would not have been so successful at modeling itself. They kind of knew the ones already that would go to Paris and do the ready to wear, whatever, right? So that was so does it make sense? So I think again, I don't want to judge her for it because it's like a hard situation. I think there was some like in over there in Eastern Europe, there's just a lot of like the mob thing with women and like it's complicated, right? I think a lot of these girls came from a lot of poverty and all that. But the point is not this, right? Is that she got this, the weird visa, and then there she is trying to pretend like, does it make sense? Trying to pretend that it was not like that. And now she's like this like picture of moral perfection. Come on, right? And again, they had no qualms about going after Hunter Biden. So let's go back here to the question. The main question: is she going to sue? What's going to happen with the lawsuit? It's saying there is some evidence. Yes, there's articles that say no. I don't think that they can. What are they going to do? It's saying there are photographs of them. It's saying no, there's more, a lot more to the story, and they don't really want to dig in. So what is going to happen here? Is she going to sue Hunter Biden? Melania Trump to sue Hunter Biden. Worried, change, private, work, recognized. Okay, okay, that's right. So there's Linda. This card is Kuma und Widerwärtigkeiten. It's like, oh my god, oh my god. Okay, and then a big change. This is something private or in private work is going to come out as recognized. So she's really worried that this work it's going to come, but it seems like you're going to bring more attention to it. So what is going to happen to Hunter Biden? Is she going to sue him? The White House meeting. Interesting. Theft. Shady. Now it's interesting. This card, kurze Krankheit, so short illness. Now I never forget this reading about these cards. These cards were designed in the 19th century. And in the 19th century, women were never alone in rooms with men, unmarried women, right? Unless they were their husbands. So this is also so here's a woman somewhat under. So this card is really an euphemism for sex, of sexual activity, or it could be actual or rest or stress. But you see, like, so so we have here again meeting. Now here, see, the two of them are kind of like meeting. Could be, does it make sense? Sexual, and both of them are sort of related to that. Like meeting could be a business meeting, but meeting in terms of sexual activity. Yes. The letter. Okay. Judge. Deal. Woman. New beginning. So did they go after him? What happens? What happens to, let's say, what happens to Hunter Biden? They don't want it to come out. And I saw some comments online, of course, uh, that um, the way that she wants $1 billion, like, come on. So is there, it's a story. Oh, it's saying because she talk about illegal immigrant. So the whole story that she should never have gotten that visa. So if we apply the standards that Trump has, she should be deported, right? Because it's a violation. It's fraud. You lied about who you were to get a visa, right? So, okay, so what's happening here with the situation that she's threatening Hunter Biden? So he's saying he stands by it. No. And he's saying, you can tell me, I don't care. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to backtrack. Just the way that they lied about me and they made up stories. And it's like, this is his payback. And I see that he's a person ultimately with courage. And a lot of people who have been through a lot in life and I almost feel like I'm kind of like that too, in a way. Like if you didn't have a straight and narrow path, why do you have to apologize? Because you were not accepted to begin with. So there's no need to be like, oh yes, okay, obsequious, right? Because they harass him. So what's happening here? Let's see. This is multiple. It was also election. White House. Okay, a house, money. Blocked. Talking. So could they go after him? Talking about the bad stuff in public. Blockers blocking. So what's going to happen to him? Is he going to be okay? Okay, success comes out about this. Interesting. Everything comes out about the sexual stuff. Okay, here he is. Okay. Yeah, honestly, I feel like this whole thing is going to sort of die down because he's not buying into it. So, and I don't think he was not lying. Okay, he was not lying because they're going to have to prove it. And they may, as they have been doing, right? I think I see, of course, I follow a lot of those Russians, and and like they want Trump to start actually arresting Democrats and doing all that. But that's a kind of a I don't feel like they will do that. Okay. I think there are more concerns here. And I see even the fact that Russia has put out photos of her, like negative photos of her, something like that. Okay. So interesting. All right. So sorry, something my all right. Interesting with my so let's go to the next. There's a lot to discuss. So this is an article about from the Guardian. Let me show you. Okay, Anchorage, that's the capital of Alaska. Buzz ahead, Trump with some of it. Please don't sell us back. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. Trump's like, okay. Trump's announcement that he was going to meet with Putin in Russia also set off alarm bells in a region which was part of the Russian Empire until it sailed to the US in 1867. There's a satirical response that Alaskans have. Please don't sell us back. Okay, so then I want to show you also a few things before we start talking, which is, you know what? Let's actually talk about. Let me show you this because it's relevant. Okay. Um, okay. So Trump mentioned Leningrad. Let me sure. Okay. So Trump mentioning Leningrad is wild, considering the city hasn't existed since 1991. Okay. Uh, Fake news is working overtime. If I got Moscow and Leningrad free as part of the deal with Russia, the fake news would say I made a bad deal. So one thing I want to tell you about is Leningrad. So you know how a lot of times I've said this before that I'm not one of these people who is into those whole body double. I always tell people I don't believe the body double, dead, whatever. It's to me that's disinformation, conspiracy theory. I don't believe that at all. And I always tell people to read more about Putin. Um, and uh, and then so I'll tell you a little bit. Trump used the word Leningrad, but it actually. So okay, so the thing is, so you saw that Trump used that word, right? And this is how he's a total Russian asset because that was so Putin's formative life experience was the the siege of Leningrad or the Battle of Leningrad. So this was an important battle in the Second World War where the Nazis they wanted to invade Russia, right? And they went so far long enough. And of course, the Russian winter came, and they eventually lost, but they were there for a long time, and there was a siege. In other words, they blocked off the city, and people starved, and it was a horrific event. It was truly terrible. A lot of people, millions of people died, and so this is the thing. You know how Putin always talks about like claims the Ukrainians are Nazis. Obviously they're not Nazis, but it's the whole like in his mindset. This is like right. His city survived that siege. I think he was born in 1940. Like it was born after the war, and his dad was partially crippled because of that. Putin's dad. So it was again the formative experience for Putin. So the fact that Trump used the word Leningrad and not St. Petersburg, which is the name it hasn't been for a really, really long time. It hasn't been Leningrad. that tells you who is feeding him that information, right? You think about it. And so everybody, I think people around Putin and the historians, and so the book I recommend that people read is called Putin's People by Catherine Benton. The book is so good that Russian oligarchs sued her, unfortunately, because it really was. It's so you want to learn about Russia, today's Russia. That's a really great book. So anyway, so does it make sense? This is a total capitulation. The fact that Trump uses this word when he talks about meeting Putin, and it is what it is. And before we get into this, the important thing to remember is that I think we're getting close to the end, because it's not unbelievable, because we know that that's who he is, right? But what is the goal of Putin? Why would Putin and these Russians have propped up Trump? Because they wanted a lot in return, right? It wasn't free, obviously. And now they want the US, right? Like, I mean, they've gotten a lot, but I think we're going to get to the point where Trump is going to demand things for, oh, help us, help us. Okay, so let's go back here to then the meeting in Alaska. Oh, and there's something else, guys. I hope I don't talk too much here, because it's important to give you context, because this is a very important moment. I wanted to show you also this thing, which is a little scary. Okay. All right. So, you know what? Where is it? So what I wanted to find, I thought I had saved here, but I guess not. It's probably on my this account here. One second. Is this moment where he said Trump. Oh, here it is. It's from the Telegraph, I think. So it's really serious, but again, we'll have to keep that in mind. That's what I had. Okay. 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 So really, this is so I'm going to share you this, guys. This is he wants to share. Remember how I said he was going to offer Alaska to Putin? I think that would probably be something like later down the line, but he's already offering natural resources, which is, it's like, why? He's giving all of this crap for free. Not crap. He's giving them so much for nothing. What have they done other than terrorize us, really? Like, this isn't legit, like, okay, legit treason. I don't know. I know that treason means we need to have a formal war declared, but really, who does that, right? It's so messed up. Okay, so here it is. Donald Trump is preparing to offer Vladimir Putin access to rare earth minerals to incentivize him to end the war in Ukraine. Now, remember, Putin invaded Ukraine. There's no reason why we then give him a gift, a reward for it, basically, by offering natural resources. WTF, unless Trump is selling the US for, like, to pay off his debts, right? So it's just a very messed up situation. Oh my God, wait, hold on, guys. I'm sorry, I have the wrong cable. So I just have to do this. Wow. So this is that. Okay, so let's go into that. So let me ask. So is Trump now, is he going to offer them formally? Like, what's going to happen about this, right? That they're reporting this. So tell me what's going on. Yes. No, I see there's, oh yeah, I know you can have us. You could say, because it's Russians, like, we need something in return. Donald, it's taken too long. You understanding? You understanding? Too long. And so again, the guy works for them. He's I don't even know what the name for this thing is at this point. So yes, he's like, oh yeah, because they're all about that. And then of course, once they get in and they put their, whatever, they start their BS. So that's, yes, he put it on the table, but I see that then there's a slap on his face and he can't, on his wrist, and they pull it because this whole thing, and I was reading up on it yesterday, is all about appeasing Russia and making, and like, make Russia close to America. We already put the president in place. Now we need a formal resolution. So doesn't make sense what the Russians are doing this. It's really not about Ukraine because they will not do anything about Ukraine. They're not really open. We know how they are, right? They violate every single international treaty. And so they're not really interested in any ceasefire. What they want is to get into the US and steal our resources, right? Guys, it's funny, I'm not angry because so tell me, what is happening here? Tell me, please. What? They're being recorded. Okay, monitor. I see Trump like this again. Saying total capitulation. So, and it's saying at the end of this, it's saying the removal process will begin. The removal of Trump. Because again, and oh, and the other guys, the other thing, I saved all of this. I can't believe it's and it's something that, years ago, if someone told you this, you wouldn't believe it, right? So not only that, so let me show you something else that is really, really awful. Okay, so he's the place where this is happening, okay, is a military base. Okay. So it really is, I don't know, I mean, treason, plain and simple. Okay, so Trump is hosting Putin as a guest at the same Air Force base that has been sending fighter jets to intercept Russian bombers for decades. So that's the situation right now. Okay. For those soldiers, it is like hosting an enemy and a war criminal dictator at that. Someone needs to ask whose idea Alaska was, by the way. So it's really like, so is it go? I still wonder, is it really going to happen? I feel like it will happen. I don't know that Putin's going to be there though. Because I kind of see though this moment as, is it the moment where we're very close to the end, because it's going to be a horrific, humiliating thing for us, but it will show. I mean, come on, this is has been very obvious for a really long time that he works for Farah, right? We know what he works for, who he works for. So what is going to happen there and after? No, I see that it's just like Helsinki, but even worse because it's in our territory. And he's going to offer all these concessions. It has nothing to do with the Ukrainian war, and they will be removed. Okay, so does it make sense? He's going to offer something, and then it's on the table essentially, yes. And so when I said the thing about selling, giving, can you imagine the idea that he was going to offer Alaska? I don't know what's worse. That he starts with the minerals, right? Oh no, no, and that's, remember, this is also what Russia wanted from Ukraine. No, 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 we just want the minerals, right? And what does that mean, right? They're going to have access. What does that even mean? What the hell is that? So, so is it going to? Are we going to have? Okay, is Russia going to be? No, I see no, because it's saying if it happens, we become like Ukraine. Essentially, it's saying that's what they're doing. They wanted to do Ukraine, and that's what's they want. They want us to be their economy, and it's like, come on, Russia has a tiny economy. It's like, come on, this is like, oh my god. But it's saying it has to be this unbelievable. And I see that people are like, wow. I see the shock at this thing. Whether it's saying it is going to be a humiliating thing, whether it's Putin or another representative or whatever, it is going to be really bad. It's going to look ridiculous. And this will accelerate the demise. Okay. And I see, interesting that the NATO guys are, wow. Whoa, whoa. But then they all know that it's close to an end. That everybody knew in the back of their minds that there would come a day when the truth about who he is would come out, and this is the moment. And I think, guys, we know that just from what's in all these books and all these articles, it's out there in public. But that those NATO and other countries, other intelligence services have all the information, including pictures or whatever, right, of Trump. So they know that there's too much compromise on him at this point. So, wow, can you believe it? It's really sickening, isn't it? So, okay, so then let's see here. What is going to happen tomorrow? Let's see the cards. What is going to happen tomorrow? Let's see. Okay. Tomorrow, Friday. So what's going to happen tomorrow? I even see Putin making a joke about Trump and Epstein that he has info on. So what is going to happen? Anchor deal. Oh my God. Oh, loss, stress, multiple or election. Friend. Long-term deal. Stress or hacking the election. Could it be also? So is Putin going to be there? The house guilty. The cross is guilty. This could be the law or institution. Oh, here is ending. Coffin for him. Ending because of a secret. Ending secret. That's right. So let's see here. White House guilty. This could even be, I guess it could be the Pentagon. Okay, ending because of the secret secretly. Okay. Wow. Okay, opportunity. So cut here. Okay, so what is, then I see Biden like, wow, he's gonna go there, huh? Yeah, I feel like actually Biden is like, go there, you're gonna go there. And then I see the face of Kamala just as it's coming. So so Spirit, what advice do you have for us here as we watch this in whichever form it may take place? Whether Putin shows up, it just shows that it's going to be a humiliating, horrible thing, but it means we're very close to the end. So what advice do you have for us here, Spirit? Breathe. We're close to the end. It's saying it's a combination of a lot of the untenable things, and it actually shows me the things that he put around the White House, right, to protect him. But it's saying the more he asks for military to be around him, the more in prison he is technically, right, because he can't escape. So wow, it's saying towards the end, it feels close to the end, but this is saying. So is it it's saying it's the culmination of the Russia bot presidency. Okay, so wow. So wow, guys, there's a lot more to talk about. Maybe I'll make another video. But I'm just digesting this. There's a lot to talk about also JD Vance in the UK and other things, but wow. So okay, so that's right. It's saying the circle is it's like the perimeter is closing around him. Okay. Very interesting. Wow. Okay. And so it's saying, as awful as it will look, because it's like this administration is like that, right? Like you think something, it couldn't get worse, but it does. And as you see it, know that we're close to the end. So, but it has to come out the way he capitulates to Putin. And it shows me that it's showing me also that his Helsinki meeting in comparison to So what's going to happen regarding Alaska is going to be nothing. This is going to be so humiliating and so embarrassing that I don't even see very few people are going to be okay with that. Even the diehard people, because it's just too embarrassing. And the whole claim, they claim that Trump is strong. No, he's not strong. He's owned by others, so it will come out. So, okay, wow, intense here, intense. Wow. So, okay, I'm gonna stop here and post it. Okay, all right. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.